In a previous video, one of the things that I said that I do to help my ADHD was making my life work for my ADHD. Now, that can look a lot of different ways for different people, obviously, depending on your needs, wants, and desires. However, I thought it would be helpful to share how I make my life work for my ADHD and see if that gives you any ideas. Let's jump right in. I'm going to talk about the most boring one, but probably the most important and impactful thing that you can make work for your ADHD is your work, your job, your career, whatever you do to get money. We spend a lot of our lives trying to get money to live, and being able to have something that works for you is, in this day and age, a very privileged thing. But I do think that even if you adopt just a couple of these and you're able to accommodate yourself, it can make your working experience like a lot better. So for me, the most important things when it comes to work: 1, having a flexible schedule, being able to start and stop sort of when I need. It doesn't need to be like totally open, but having like a 2-hour window of when I can come to work and having like a 2-hour window of when I can leave makes a huge difference for me. I no longer feel like I'm trapped and suffocated there. It gives me the agency to be excited about work. The other thing that's really important is to have a boss that you like, or work for yourself. Either way, I think if you're looking for jobs, having a boss that you jive with, that understands you, is so crucial to your well-being at work and can be an amazing tool to just help you level up your whole life. The other thing that's really great for me is being allowed to work in the way that I want. So yes, processes are great. It is super important that we have processes at work, but when it comes down to the fine details, let me do things in the way that I want. Is there a software that I want to use that I like better than the one we use? I should be able to use that. Now, these are very forward-thinking things, and a lot of places, unfortunately, are not this caught up, but I do think if you have a priority to make your job work for you, you go in really strong, you can at least get a couple of these, and like I said, it's gonna make a really compounding difference. The other thing that I do is make sure I work in an environment where I can ask clarifying questions without being judged. I have a lot of questions when it comes to being given tasks. Sometimes I need a working meeting to sit down and work on a task with somebody else so I can ask you questions while I do it. Being able to work in an environment that allows for that is huge. The other thing too is if your company has a very big focus on right people in the right seats, making sure that every 6 months or so, my boss is checking in. Do you still like what you do? Do you feel like this is good for you? Are you enjoying this? Do you feel like you excel at this? Making sure that the right people are doing the right things. Again, this is pretty forward-thinking stuff, but I do think that we are getting closer and closer and closer to having more of our businesses operate this way. The other thing that I rely on heavily is co-working or body doubling. Co-working is more like working while you're next to somebody who's also working. Body doubling could mean I'm cleaning out my closet while somebody's sitting in the room watching me clean out my closet. Basically just means by having another person there, you're able to get more done. And I love doing virtual co-working in Discord. If you want to come and join us in Discord, if you're over 18, please do. The link is on my website. We body double or co-work almost every day together, and we just go in a channel with our cameras on while we work, and it is really, really motivating to be around somebody else who's working. So that's huge, and something that I think when we were working in the office in person was a good benefit, but I think there's a lot of virtual co-working options around now if you are at home or if you're doing school. A lot of these apply in school as well, even though you don't have as much agency when you're in school. It gets a bit easier when you get out and are working. Lastly, my number one thing when it comes to work is making sure that you have an organizational system. Doesn't matter what it is. It could literally be anything as long as it works for you. An unorganized ADHD person is a recipe for stress and overwhelm and frazzledness. And when we are stressed and frazzled and overwhelmed, we make a lot more mistakes. At least I do. And then you make mistakes, you start feeling bad, and it becomes this whole snowball of terribleness, and you just feel awful. Making sure that you have a way to stay organized, even if it's a pen and paper and you're writing things down, it doesn't matter. Obviously, my favorite way is Notion. I do make and sell Notion templates for ADHD people. You can check them out on my website as well. But having some type of system to stay organized is going to ensure that you don't ever feel frazzled and like you don't have a handle of what's going on. And that for me personally is huge, especially when it comes to running your own business. There's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of moving parts. I do like 70,000 different things, and I need to have a place to track everything. So that's why I love Notion. It allows me to stay organized for all of my businesses, every single one, and keep everything all in one place. And it's just really amazing and lovely and fantastic. And I love it.